Reunited and it feels so good. Cody Bellinger could be a return fit for the Cubs.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the FanDuel app today. Pending breaking news, we are dropping an episode on Thanksgiving Day revealing the top 25 Cubs of the last 25 years. We will preview that episode later this episode. We'll also get into the best and worst Thanksgiving food, former Cubs who are possible candidates to return with the Cubs as free agents this offseason. And we start with one of those candidates right now, Cody Bellinger, who rebounded in a big way with the Cubs in 23, returned and played pretty well in 24, and then played very well with the Yankees in 25. The former NL MVP is a free agent again this offseason and could be a fit with the Cubs. Bellinger with the Yankees slashed .272, .334, .480 with 29 home runs, though 18 of them were at the pull-happy Yankee Stadium. Sam, two questions. One, how could Bellinger fit with the Cubs in 26 and beyond? And two, could you see the Cubs going after him in the first place?
I'll start with 1 and 2 together. The answer is I don't see it. And the reason I don't see it isn't anything to do with the Cubs at all. If this were to happen, I think it would be very similar to the 2024 situation where Bellinger's out of options. Cubs might sneakily add some money late, find a way to get a good deal, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The reason why I don't think this happens is because I think it was it Steinbrenner, Hal Steinbrenner? Somebody came out with the Yankees yesterday.
Yeah, that was big news.
Hal Steinbrenner and said, hey, we need a lower payroll. And so basically, to me, that takes them out of it.
How? You're the Yankees.
That takes them out. Well, obviously, it's why I asked Cap that. There's something going on financially with some of these big franchises.
How are teams not making money? Hal Steinbrenner said they're not making a profit.
Right.
So is he a liar or is baseball in big trouble?
No, neither. We could do a business course off the air. I just don't have that degree. I just think Bellinger's going back to the Yankees. It makes so much sense, right?
It does. Yeah.
Now that they're not going to pay big money for Tucker, they go back to Bellinger. And Bellinger, it's just his skill set fits perfectly there. Right. You read the numbers. His skill set doesn't fit well at Wrigley Field. It just doesn't anymore with the way lefties hit. A lot of his home runs are wall scrapers. He doesn't get into the ball like he did, but at Yankee Stadium, they're upper deck shots. He's a great guy to have hit behind Judge. I just think that to me, I just think those two are going to have a reunion. And if they don't, and we get to the point where it's like early February again, that's when I think this conversation would really have some merit. But right now, I expect Bellinger to be wearing pinstripes, just not Cubs pinstripes.
Well, in February of 24, that news broke at like 1 or 2 a.m.
I did a show. I got out of bed. I was literally in bed, got out of bed, and did a live 10 to 15.
Yeah, it was phenomenal, man.
I don't remember it being phenomenal, but I remember doing it.
He really benefited from Yankee Stadium like we forecasted.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, really, really benefited from it.
Do you have the splits?
I don't have I know he hit 18 of the 29 homers at Yankee Stadium.
I'll get the splits.
But what's interesting about the splits, Sam, from 25 is just how prolific Bellinger is at the platoon split. It's Like it's
crazy.
crazy.
He had 353 against lefties with a 1.01
353
and 244 versus righties. He had a 909 OPS at home, 715 on the road.
Yo, so if you're looking for a guy that can hit lefties, he's the guy.
Yeah, ironically, that's a great point. I hear you. That's a great
point. And he
point.
had a career low strikeout rate of 13.7.
No, I think Bellinger's a good hitter. I think Bellinger's a good player. I think he's a great fit. I just don't think he's a guy you build your whole offense around. I just think he's a perfect fit in the Bronx. I really do.
I think the Mets are going to go hard after him too.
That'd be a mistake by the Mets. That'd be a mistake. I don't. Yeah. I think they're going to be looking at Tucker hard.
Okay.
But no, I think Bellinger's in a great spot. I mean, he's going to sit and wait for Tucker to get paid.
So Bellinger is someone who's going to have to wait for Tucker.
I think so. I think Tucker will set the market with a 3 in front of it, and then Bellinger will seek a 2. He doesn't deserve that. No offense.
He's not going to get that.
And then he'll get something in the mid 1s or mid to high 1s, and I think the Yankees will be glad to pay that.
Yeah, that's where MLB trade. So MLB trade rumors has him at a figure that I think the Cubs should be all over.
Can I guess it?
Yeah,
I haven't looked at it.
Right.
I'm gonna say MLB trade rumors has him at 6 for 150.
5 for 140.
That was close.
Yeah.
No, you acted like I was 5 years off.
And the Athletic has him 7 for 182.
So I'm right in the middle.
My biggest takeaway from our cap episode, Sam, was the Cubs will not go beyond 7 years on a player. We know that because Cap told us that. Ricketts told him that privately. And number 2, Swanson got 7 years. He's their last big deal. So it's 7 or less for the Cubs. Let's see who they can get. For 2 years, 3 years, they won't go a 5th year to Schwarber. Okay, great. Then you're not going to get them.
So wait, let me ask you a question though. Say the trade rumor.
I also think the Phillies might play some musical chairs. They could be if Schwarber goes to the Red Sox or Schwarber goes to the Cubs, Bellinger might go to Philly.
I agree with that. Can you tell me what MLB trade rumors was? 5 for what?
140.
Why wouldn't you just give that to Schwarber?
Oh, I hope they do, man.
Schwarber had 56 homers last year, and they're not wall scrapers. He could hit a home run into right center field.
I never heard that term till today.
Wall scraper?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I lived off of that term. Schwarber could hit a home run in a monsoon with the wind blowing in. So why? Like if Bellinger,
you might hit one in the snow.
And I get it. Bellinger's good, solid defensively. You mentioned this off the air. He could play first. That gives you
all 3 outfield spots.
The thing that Bellinger gives you, and you said this off the air, so I'm going to give you credit for it. Is if you were to sign him, he also becomes your platoon backup first baseman.
For sure.
Because he can hit lefties at first base. So I get it.
And he's your starting right fielder.
I get that. And with all that being said, I'd rather give that money to Schwarber.
I don't disagree with that, but Bellinger,
that's reunited.
What I learned today, based on looking into this, I think Bellinger's a close second. Maybe not close second, but he's second.
Yeah, I guess for me, I just can't imagine him and the Yankees not figuring that out. Like if you're the Yankees, you may want to cut payroll, but you have to get somebody to hit behind Aaron Judge. He's the best hitter in the world. Well, what did he hit in the playoffs? Like 480 this year?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So you can't. That's not fair to him. That's not. This guy's trying to become one of the all-time greats. You can't have like.
Maybe they get Tucker.
Ben Rice hitting behind him. No, they're not going to get Tucker because their owner just publicly said they don't want to pay anybody like that.
Good point. So, coming up next,
I don't know why I'm shouting.
Who are some other players the Cubs could reunite with this offseason? We got names like Chafin, Armstrong, Burrell, and others. Let's explore those next.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get into the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of the game, you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team is making that late push. Folks, I talked about on this show how bad the Nets are, and I might have overlooked the Wizards of Washington, who now hold a record of 1-15, and all the metrics suggest they could be a team that finishes with single-digit wins and makes NBA history. Find a way to bet against them. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Thank you for making Locked On Cubs your first listen of the day. And thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. Wow, a single-digit amount of wins. That'd be tough to do. Might have to check in on Locked On Wizards at some point just to remind ourselves and get some perspective there.
No, they're bad, but I still think Brooklyn's worse.
All right, the other two, we mentioned Schwarber, the other reunion via organizational reunion, not at the major league level, would be Dylan Cease would be the other big one.
Yeah.
I don't know if I see the Cubs going, those numbers we were discussing with Schwarber and Bellinger, do they actually do that for a pitcher? I'm going to guess not. But we'll see. I know the Astros are really in on Cease. I read that. What trade was Pierce Johnson in? I should have looked that up. Former Cubs farmhand. He's become a pretty good reliever.
Has he really?
He was with the Braves the last couple of years.
I'll tell you that right now.
Maybe he's a buy low candidate for Jed Hoyer in the front office.
He was a waiver claim by the Giants, September 17. Yeah.
He wasn't in a trade. Okay.
Nope.
He was with the Cubs, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They drafted him.
Let's see. And so Victor Caratini is next on the list. This is in no particular order. He's a free agent this offseason. Cubs have no use for him.
No.
He was in the Yu Darvish trade, which is still not reaped any benefits for the Cubs.
Well, Casey, I think, is an asset.
Sure.
He's an asset. Benefits for the Cubs at the major league level, not much, but he's a guy that you could trade for a big pitcher. Let's not crush that payroll saving trade. No, the Cubs are set. Amaya and Kelly.
Yes, yeah, I feel good about that. And with Ballesteros maybe catching 8 to 10 games.
Could this I would love to see Miguel Amaya be good for 105 games. I think
that'd be awesome. Yeah.
I think it's in there.
It seemed like it was trending that way.
Yeah, and then he got had that really bad injury.
Got hurt twice.
Yeah, and that's kind of been the story of his career, right?
Right. And he is, I believe, only here through 27, if memory serves.
It's a huge year. It's a huge year for him.
Yeah. The Sheriff, Andrew Chafin, is a free agent.
Chafin?
Or is it Chafin?
I think it's Chafin.
Chafin, okay. Of course, his trade to the A's brought back Daniel Palencia.
Right. And then who was the other guy? Greg something that they got back?
Yeah, Greg Deichmann.
Yeah.
He didn't prove to be much of anything at all. But did get a cup of coffee with the Cubs, though.
I vaguely remember that.
Shelby Miller was on the Cubs for 2 minutes, right?
Yep.
I think it was the 2020 season.
Mm-hmm.
He's a free agent. Maybe you get him.
Maybe.
Oh, I think he got hurt though, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's had some success. He's had some success lately. Big time. If memory serves.
He had an ERA of 0 or 1 a lot of last year.
Yeah, so far that's the only one you mentioned that I could actually see be a future, becoming true there.
Also with the Brewers last year, Jose Quintana, part of a semi-famous trade. Cubs got him for Cease and Eloy Jimenez. And, Quintana last year for the Brewers, very productive.
Can I do a quick, thing on Quintana?
Yeah.
I think that trade is a little bit overratedly bad from the Cubs history.
Totally.
He helped them win a division.
Final 4.
Yeah, with the Cubs. You knew what you were getting. It was a solid pitcher that, I'm actually looking up his stats now. I really didn't realize he was with the Cubs for that many. I didn't realize he was with the,
yeah.
He had 4 different years with the Cubs.
Yep.
He made a start in 2020. I don't recall that at all.
Okay.
And I know he struggled in 19, but like, it wasn't that bad of a trade. I mean, was it a good one? But it wasn't as bad as people say it was.
I never thought it was. I mean, even early on, I know Cease and Jimenez got, had especially Eloy had glimpses of power or whatever, but he didn't pan out to be anything.
And this guy, at Quintana last year, he was pretty good with the Brewers. And I'm not saying I'm not saying I want the Cubs to get him, but he is what he is. He's basically a little bit over a 500 pitcher with an ERA under 4. He's just, he's a nice pitcher. He's had a nice career. Let's move on.
Do the Cubs bring back Scott Effross, the Sidewinder?
I would love that.
One of our first trades on this program, Effross for Wisniewski, who is not currently an Astro. Could they bring back? Could he be one of the 30 relievers they bring in?
That would make my day.
Really? I'm so glad I brought him up then. I almost didn't include him on my outline.
Can I ask you a question?
This would be the place to do it. It is a talk program.
Why is Mike Tauchman a free agent? And why did he get non-tendered?
I missed that one. Mike Tauchman.
No, but seriously, am I missing something with Tauchman?
They should sign him.
No, well, they shouldn't because he hits lefty. It doesn't make sense. But like, let me just ask you. Let me just read you Mike Tauchman's statistics for the last 3 years, and I get it. He hasn't played full games, but I'm gonna read you his statistics. Then I want to make a point. Okay?
Yeah, he's been solid.
You know what? I'm just gonna say his OBP the last 3 years.
Yeah, just do that.
363, 357, 356. He hits the same average as Ian Happ. Same OBP. He just doesn't slug like Happ. And he's missed some games, but he also is making about 1/20th of what Happ's making.
Right.
This guy is a massive asset to a contender, and it blows my mind that somebody should be on him as a 4th outfielder. He's an asset. He for $4 million, he's going to give you a 350 OBP off the bench. He can play all 3 positions. He gives you great at bats. He can hit good pitching, and he hits in the clutch. And he pops a homer every now and then to left center field. I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah, no, he would be a great fit for one of the teams that's ready to win.
The Dodgers. I don't know why
I thought he would be traded at the deadline.
Me too. Why don't back-to-back years?
Yeah.
Like if I'm the Dodgers, because their outfield was putrid in the postseason. It was like Teoscar Hernandez,
Justin Dean,
Andy Pages couldn't get any hit. I think he had like 0-20 in the playoffs.
Right.
He would thrive on a team like that. Sorry. Side note. I apologize.
Well, no, I think that's a good observation.
If the Cubs weren't so lefty dominant, I would be all in for a reunion.
Yeah. Speaking of lefty dominance, Mark Leiter Jr. is a free agent.
Sure.
Boy, did he dice up lefties back in the day.
Sure. Just don't make him just be a lefty though. That didn't work out.
Sure. Yeah. I remember us talking about that. Shawn Armstrong.
Yeah, now we're probably past it. Yeah.
He pitched for the Cubs in 24, had a great year last year with, I believe, Texas. So he might get paid a little bit.
Really?
And yeah, he did. In fact, one of the lists had him in the top 70 free agents or something. Oh, and finally, Christopher Morel, who got non-tendered by the Rays last week.
Yeah, it's a pass.
Cubs will not be he will not be returning to the Cubs.
It's a pass. Wish him all the best. He'll have some success somewhere. It's a pass for me. Would love to see him at a place like Coors Field. Hit some 480-foot homers. Have some fun over there.
And we've talked about Pomerantz and Thielbar, Sam, but I think Aaron Savale could be a candidate the Cubs buy back.
Really?
And Michael Soroka.
Why?
I think just adding arms. They want to add arms to that bullpen lab. They don't have a lot of relievers right now, And so I think especially Soroka would be a candidate for that, like a 1-inning guy they can make him into.
Soroka, I could see. Savali as a
Savali might be pushing it.
Yeah, he did a nice job.
He did. He didn't walk anybody, literally, with the Cubs. Yeah. All right, coming up next, we start to preview our Thanksgiving episode, and we also talk about Thanksgiving. Perhaps a thing or two we're grateful for as well. Stay tuned. Shout out to the everydayers. You can become a Locked On Cubs everydayer by joining us for every episode throughout the week. All right, our last segment here on the show. 2025 marks last quarter century last quarter century. And in the last quarter century, who are the top 25 Cubs? And so we have all year to come up with this. We floated, doing it in January and February. Didn't do it. So we're pending the Cubs making a trade or a signing on Wednesday. You can see that episode beginning Thursday morning on your preferred audio platform or YouTube.
What I would do is just drive over to your football game in the morning, have us in your ear. You come back,
exactly,
and then and then you got time. Right,
it's only 27 to 33 minutes.
Right before the Lions and Packers kick off. I don't know who to root for in that game. I think Green Bay is going to win.
Yeah, what would help the Bears the best? You look into that. Get back to us.
Got it.
Okay. So what's interesting about this list? We have relievers, we have starters, we have catchers, we run the gamut on the list. But who are the top 25 Cubs? This is the definitive list. I mean, I'm saying that tongue in cheek, but a lot of good names on here. Also, some names you might not expect, including 2 current Cubs, Sam. Yeah. 2 current Cubs.
It's happened somebody.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to give it away. I know you've voiced displeasure in the past that Hap would be on.
No, you're right. I did I didn't make the 25. You did, but I've done the exercise, and it's really hard to find 25. So Hap has to be on there.
There's also one other current Cub.
Yeah, it's the current Cub that's really mystifying me. I have it down to 2 people.
Yeah, and one of them, Dansby Swanson.
No, it's not Swanson. It can't be. You can't put Swanson on there. You can't do that. You can't. So, yeah.
Well, what if he showed up like 25th? What would
I'd be disappointed and tell you that that's wrong. Not after 3 night. You can't have 3 nice seasons or 2 seasons and be a top 25 Cub of the century so far.
Well, maybe I snuck Pete Crow-Armstrong in there.
Nah, you would not after a year. It's probably Horner. It's got to be Horner because Steele.
What else are you thinking about?
I was Steele's 22, 23, 24. It's not enough years. So it's got to be Nico, I would think, because Nico's he made his debut in 19. He had a good 21 or good 22. 23 was good. 24, 20. You start adding it up. I think it has to be Nico.
Well, what would you do if I told you it was Jamer Candelario?
No. Well, if you had him on the list, seriously, then we'd be doing something called a listener review of who wants to be the next co-host of Locked On.
Who would be reviewed?
Yeah, send in your resume in the comments, and I'll review it and decide.
Right, you can pick the next co-host, right? All right. Well, I'm very grateful right now. It's obviously a very reflective time of year. Any words we could say about the show or anything like that? Because this show has been life-changing.
Yeah, I think we're both very thankful for the show, the opportunity, the listeners, the camaraderie, each other, the team.
Yeah.
All those things. This last year was really fascinating because, you covered a playoff team and the intricacies of that and how intense it felt at times. And, how different it felt. It really did feel different. It felt like it really did feel like a different element of covering a team that had a chance to go to the National League Championship Series versus covering a mediocre 83-win team, which is basically all we've done up until that. And
not basically, it was.
Yeah, so it was, thankful for the program, thankful for you, thankful for friends and family.
Yeah, I'm thankful to, being at my day job, being a teacher. I felt the last year reinvigorated doing that. So I really turned this week and reflect and thankful to do that. And this is a blast from the past. We've done a little bit of a version of this before.
Yeah, we have. We definitely have.
Including you with a line about turkey without gravy. I believe you were pretty bold. I think this was November of 22, pretty early in our run.
I don't remember what I said, but
yeah, you said, if you have turkey without gravy, like you should be, sent somewhere or something.
Oh, I didn't mean that.
Right. But I had a cornbread casserole last year.
Yeah.
And it was surprisingly very good. Because you have all the casseroles, nobody likes the green bean one. People are bullish on sweet potatoes.
I disagree. I have no problem with green beans.
Right, I think a spoonful.
Well, I told you last year really changed my perspective on Thanksgiving because I spent it over at the D'Angelo's.
Right. Italian food, right?
Yeah, Italian type Thanksgiving. The food was totally different than what I grew up with. I'm just gonna go just with the basics, like how I grew up on it. Very simple for me. Mac and cheese was not something that was served in my household. So like for me, I really liked stuffing and the potatoes and all the carbs and stuff. And I'll just repeat it again. When it comes to my favorite sort of meats and proteins, turkey, not sliced turkey at the deli, sign me up. But the Thanksgiving turkey it's really at the bottom of the list for me. And if I had to compare it, to a player,
what type of seed would it be in like March Madness?
Oh, I was going to compare it to a Cubs player, but this is probably better. No, it'd be like a 14 seed.
Okay.
Like for me,
it's like Billy Castro.
Yeah. For me, like I like chicken and I like fish a lot.
Good for you.
And red meat. But just turkey. Now if we're talking like going to like Jersey Mike's, love turkey.
Right.
But this sort of turkey is it's a pass for me. So
thank you for making Locked On Cubs your first listen of the day. For your second listen, check out Locked On MLB. Sully keeps you up to date on the latest rumors, news, and everything else. Find Locked On MLB on YouTube and everywhere you get your
Bruce
podcast.
Levine wants the Cubs to trade for Sandy Alcantara.
Really? Did that just break?
I think I saw it earlier today.
Floated it out there. All right, top 25 Cubs of the last 25 years dropping on Thanksgiving. Please check that out as well. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.
I really enjoy that.